And we begin. So Angamandil, Bane, and Herobrand, and Wanderer are surrounding this goblin. And we hadn't really talked about that you had. I don't believe you had restrained him. It was just weapons drawn, pointed his direction from 4 directions. I believe that is the extent of your binding, quote unquote binding.
At the moment, I think he gets the point. 4 of them.
Yeah.
Arrows and swords and axes at his throat.
Yeah. So he's
I
lying.
would put the weapon down if I were you.
He's kind of cowered to the ground here. He's got a bit of a wound. You see him bleeding out, and he's just looking around nervously, and he's kind of slumps his head down into his shoulders and looks up. He's obviously smaller than a human, and maybe about Bane's height, really, if he were to stand up. But he's kind of crouched. He's smaller than Bane right now, and he drops. He had a bow. He's an archer. You see on his belt, he's got a very jagged, sort of wicked knife. And he's a little bit shaky to some extent, but he has dropped his bow. A bow of horn, made of horn.
Well, I'm assuming it's goblin make, so it's not great make. So
No, it's not like, wow, this exquisitely carved horn bow.
No. I would like to step on and snap it in half, and then try to snatch that knife from his belt before he can do anything with it.
Okay. I believe I'm not going to have you roll because you have favored athletics, and he is low morale at the moment right now. He's quite scared. So I'm going to call that an automatic thing. It kind of surprises him. You just stomp on that bow and then yank that dagger out. Do you hang on to the dagger? Do you fling it?
Well, considering it's probably pretty crappy. What's it made out of? I mean, it's cruel. Is it still made of metal? Can I snap it?
It's just an iron sort of dagger. It's just rough. It's kind of jagged. It's just the sharps, lots of points on it, on the top edge and stuff.
Standard goblin dagger.
Yeah.
Yeah. At this point, I'll just toss it over my shoulder into the dead bodies.
All right.
Right after Bane does that, I just go and kick him to knock him all the way down, and then hold my sword to his throat.
And his eyes go wide, and he's just looking at all of you. His eyes dart from one to the other. And you just see the spirit just almost leave him like an exhaled breath. And he realizes he's sunk. You get that sort of look on his face.
I'm assuming I have my helmet on, which is pretty intimidating. So I'm gonna lean in.
Okay.
And I'm assuming he's a goblin, the Dwarf and Goblin Wars. I'm gonna go. You know my people, so you know what I'll do. But if you answer questions, it'll go swiftly. Do you speak our tongue?
Yes.
That was either really intimidating or gobbledygook to him. So.
Yes, I do.
Good. Explain why you were here.
We suspected a group of humans dwells in this area. We've seen their hunters. Do you come from their dwelling?
You could say that. Now, is this all of you?
He looks around. It happened so fast. But it looks like you've killed us all.
Good. Now, are you the only ones? Are you under orders to be here? Let's say, this is where I try to remember names. From either Mormog or Retkul.
Radcool. He is ultimately where our direction comes. He spits some blood out.
Am I the first dwarf you have seen before you have come here?
I've seen your ugly kind before.
Where? And, I'm not going to be cruel, but in terms of this, I'm going to kind of step on his foot, or whatever his name is, as if to emphasize this is an important answer, and he better answer truthfully.
In this, with the slavers.
And where are the slavers?
Everywhere.
Hmm.
You two will be there with them soon, I'm sure.
Oh, I will, but the result shall be here.
That's what all your dead friends thought, too.
Now, where did you last see, and I'll say these particular slavers, with these dwarves?
North from here, there is an outpost.
Is he describing the outpost? Is that? I mean, I can't.
Yeah, northeast is where it is. Really, you would guess. I mean, he could be meaning something else.
But that's the direction we kind of came from.
You came from. It would be the northeast from here, but northeast. So it's, if someone's saying north, you could, without a compass in front of him, it's.
I'll say, oh, and I'll kind of give a weird, probably off-putting laugh. You mean the one run by that nasty Orok chieftain? Don't worry, we took his head.
His eyes kind of go back into his head a bit. And he swallows hard. Tries to spit some more blood out, but it's just, mouth is dry.
Good. Confirmed that.
Yeah. So where did
Now.
you come? Where did you come from today? Where did you come from today?
We've been scouring this land for days, looking for more of your kind.
Unfortunately, you found them.
I'll kind of.
But your luck won't last you.
I'm going to assume Fargus
So
has some.
says every dead person we've met.
I'm going to assume Fargus Yeah, I'm gonna assume Fargus has it because why wouldn't he have a map? And I gesture to Fargus to bring me the map.
Fulvis? Yeah.
You mean Fulvis?
Fulvis, my brain.
It's
All right,
alright.
Fulvis.
It's okay.
I made a named Fargus in one of my games. My brain.
Oh, right.
Immediately.
Yeah. Yeah,
Nah.
both he and I have maps, so
Yeah, he's...
And I'll hold the
Go
one
ahead.
specifically with. I'm assuming he either made it or has the original one with the markings we found. And I'm gonna hold this up to him. What are these X's?
I don't know.
I'll kind of increase pressure. Are you sure about that?
I'm a soldier in a scouting party, but I'm not a map reader.
All right.
Where's the larger force which you come from?
What?
You said you're a scouting party. Where is your larger force that you're scouting for?
We reported to the base in the north. But there's more everywhere, all across your filthy land, which will soon be his again. Radgor
His?
comes.
Part.
So I know you speak your filthy tongue. Do you read it?
It is not my pastime.
Shame.
Whose land shall this be again?
Radgor.
Hmm.
But he serves another.
Oh, who's that?
You will see.
Mm-hmm. A name. I'd like a name. Who does he serve?
His name is the name of names. He walks here and there, they say.
He walks in shadow, does he?
He's the name in your mind upon waking from a nightmare. What you fear at night.
I chuckle.
He spits
Tell
some
me.
blood out.
Little goblin, what do you fear right now? More.
I fear nothing. Nothing. I have served my master. What do you fear?
Missing dinner. So,
Fulvis,
What I
you
fear-
see Fulvis perk up, shakes his head. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's not that moment.
I'll
Well.
press my sword just closer to his neck. Draw a little bit of blood and a. Where is Radgul now?
I am not his keeper, but he prepares.
Oh,
You
I
will
think this
meet
guy's
him
right.
soon, I'm sure.
Have no doubt.
my friend Bane.
Yes.
Come here.
I'll assume Agamemnon can handle him at sword point and take
Yeah.
Goblin's leg.
And Wanderer right there.
yeah.
I'll say, even with his last response, like Agamando, I'd be getting so annoyed. I'd probably just like my sword array and flip him over onto his stomach, and then start tying him up.
Okay, I would love to drag myself. Okay, I'm gonna say I walk over there because for some reason it's not dragging my token.
Oh,
Anyway,
I just want to know. Do we want to send this one back with a message? Let him go?
it was either death or that. So you
Send him
know,
back with a message. Maybe we could write something saying, "I told him everything in in common tongue. Give him a scroll. I told him everything about your, everything I knew about our operations, and then also say that something to Radgul, something to the effect that, oh, don't worry, we're coming for you, and give ourselves some type of name, the Fellowship of the Shield or something, whatever, and just we're coming for you, just to put him off his game a bit. I don't know, just a thought. You guys, and you can see what you want to do. Anyway, that's all I was thinking. So we can go back now and then.
my
we
only
get
thought.
the other
if we
two.
let him- My only thought is if we let him know we're coming, I mean, obviously, it's kind of hard to not tell him a dwarf. So it's gonna be like, who are we gonna punish in our immediate hold here?
Yeah.
We're
But let this one know that there's someone out to hunt him. Maybe I don't know. So
My only-
we can ask the others what they think.
Yeah, my
I
only
don't want
thought
to
is
do it without this
Well,
this
yeah.
one knowing. Yeah.
we don't really have anything that we could use. I don't think, unless you can think of something. I mean, if we wanted to pin Mormont against Radgul, say, tell
No.
Radgul from
No,
Mormont.
just let them know that there are people out here who are going to make you pay for your sins. And don't worry. You don't have to worry about finding us. We're going to find you.
That's,
kind of-
that's fair. I'm just worried he's going to torture Thor, but that's not
Or
a
should we work? Well, that's
Yeah.
that's the sin of being born an orc. I don't know what to say. Yeah.
Well, I'm saying, like, if he knows he was attacked by a dwarf, there are dwarves there. They were asked about dwarves.
Maybe Wanderer and I like come over to join you
Mhm.
after he's tied up and get like halfway into this. And
Yeah. I don't know. What
then
you
agree with Bane. Like I would worry about retribution on any captives he may be. I do not know that it is wise to let Mormog or let Radgul know that anyone is resisting or knows of his sway.
Agreed. Best to keep the upper hand.
This goblin knows where these two townships are. I
Roughly.
don't think we can let him go back with any kind of report.
I don't know why. I'd like to imagine that you left Fargus over the tied up body, like gingerly holding a dagger in his direction.
Fulvis.
Full of it. God,
The
My
half-
brain.
I was gonna let that one go.
the halfling-
Fulvis, if he moves, kill him. And still just standing there with this oversized.
So
Fulvus has drawn his bow. 'Cause he's just
holding
had
it to his head.
he's recently had it improved, and so he's got an arrow already knocked and ready, and a stern look on his face. Don't you move.
what do you want to do with this one then?
Well, if we were to, perhaps we let him go and then follow him, find out see where he leads us. He's obviously not willing to tell us anything. I don't think we can torture it out of him.
I mean, I definitely can't. Was anyone able to tell if he was entirely truthful in all of those questions?
No.
mean, I'm not an insightful person.
Yeah.
See, his
Anybody can
answers
make
were
an-
barely even answers.
Yeah. You can make a insight check. Any of you, if you want.
I mean, I assume he's telling relatively the truth, but in general, he has nothing to lose one way or the other, really.
Yeah, I mean his number thing might that's the thing I think mainly because if he's like there's many of us and there's none of us, unless I roll
Insight
a
is
Gandalf.
0. I'm not even gonna bother.
Yeah, insight is 0 for me too. So unless I roll a Gandalf,
Yeah, Gandalf is the
I've got-
only way.
I got a 1 in insight.
my heart's also the highest of my stats. It's 17. So
Oh man.
I'll give it a try. What's it hurt? Yeah.
Yay!
you have to really read this goblin while having a bow on him.
Yeah.
That's a brand new book.
Yeah.
What you think? Do you think he was telling the truth?
For his part, yes, I believe what he told us was truthful. Although he didn't tell us much, and he looks back at the goblin.
Probably doesn't have much to tell, really. Like you said, he's a soldier. He follows.
Which of these now headless corpses was your leader of this group?
He kind of looks over at Fulvis with the arrow pointed at him, so he's kind of like eyes wide at that. He kind of tilts his head up, looks around. Over there.
I'm gonna assume wherever he
Points. He's pointing this. He's pointing this direction.
I had tied him up and then just sat him down, and then I just go pick him up, take him over to where all the corpses are, and I throw him into the corpses pile.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm gonna search the bodies, especially
If you
the
don't
leader.
tell us what we want to know, you're joining them. Now, which one was your leader?
I'm currently leaning on him.
Him.
We will search him.
Fulvis has got the arrow trained on this goblin.
Say to the goblin also, did any of you carry a map?
No. We don't need one. We can smell your kind.
Well, I, for my part, can smell your kind. I must say.
He sniffs himself. It is a good smell.
Ugh.
Looking through the orcs' belongings, really, they don't really carry a whole lot. Sorry?
It smells like old piss and rat fart.
You,
Oh,
you,
you know the brand.
you find some rotten meat and, of course, some maggoty bread. And just their weapons. You don't really find any sort of belongings. There's no maps or any sort of
Orders
orders or anything like that. They had the makeup of it was like an information gathering party, not necessarily like if they were going to attack and enslave an entire village, this was probably not the group. Not enough of them.
Probably the other group.
Yeah. So you kind of feel like, with Fulvis confirming maybe that scouting out stuff that would end up be going back to the orc camp you decimated.
Mhm.
It's probably the operating force in this region. How far it reaches, hard to say, really. But, you know, the camp you decimated wasn't gigantic.
No, but enough to take out one of these villages.
Oh,
Probably.
yeah, definitely.
Be a staging post. So, all right.
Would ask him how many other scouting parties are out.
There. We are many. All along the north of your land, working our way south and west. We are farther than you think.
Pull my sword out again and bring it down really fast, close to his throat,
He
and
jumps.
say, tell us your numbers or you die here.
You ask me things. I am a grunt in the army. I'm not a commander.
Mm.
Kind of meet eyes with them and relax for a second. And then I just pull up my sword and chop his head off.
Man, you beat me to it.
I guess negotiations are over.
It's ended right there. Yes.
And we'll just spit on the corpse and then we'll walk in the opposite direction. All right. Well, we took care of this problem. We're gonna do a customary thing and drag them all into a pile and burn them.
Oh, yeah.
You just put a bunch of stakes up with their heads on them.
Yep.
Could do
Sure.
that.
Get a
So you
few,
have to, yeah,
get a few of
pass
those.
through a. Yeah.
And they burn. Fulvus looks a bit concerned.
Mr. Brandybuck, what concerns you?
If what he said was true,
Further west? Are you worried about your homeland?
ultimately, yes, but Gandalf went that way, so there is some hope. But if there was any doubt from Shiravel, we must redouble our efforts to get them, and I worry for Corvin.
Well, we have reinforced them in the meantime.
I worry
But-
for them in the. Ultimately, I think we've taken care of trouble for the moment, but they're an outpost in the enemy territory, for sure.
Should we?
Plus, I do not likely leave their homes, but we gathering them together will increase their odds, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it will also make them more noticeable, arguably. But
I feel that. I mean, they live in a dangerous area,
yes,
and they have to
We
make the decision.
Yes, we have done all we can to assist them and convince them to leave. We cannot force them to leave if they do not want to. They know the dangers of staying.
well, we can at least impart it upon them when we gather them together, at least. And if they decide to leave with us, that's another matter.
Mm-hmm.
Fulvus, should we escort them to Corvin?
Well, it will add another 2 days, but I look at Hairbrand. Hairbrand looks tired again. And I near it myself. So there can be no harm in it.
Fulvis, though my heart longs to be back near home and to find news of what has occurred, the fate of these people weighs heavy on my heart.
I'll pat
It's
my
like
hand.
late mid.
I was just gonna say I pat my big hand on Fulvis's shoulder and I go, "Take heart, friend. We shall do what we can and come through this darkness." And Agamemnon was saying something.
He walks up during this your little heartfelt moment and just, attached as ever, says, "It should not be done by standing here. We must move."
Agreed.
He puts his arrow back in his quiver and secures his map case, tightens his belt, nods his head.
Burning pile of corpses in the background.
Now you guys traversed without, you left your horses back there with in Shearer Vale, didn't you?
Yeah. 'Cause we were they were pretty close. We just
Yeah, they weren't far at all. You did less than a mile.
like other than that, they were decent scouts. They were really honing in on that position.
Yes, they were. All right, I'm gonna go back to. Yeah, we have our fellowship sheet there. And it was nighttime when this happened.
Yes.
The evening of the 9th of Ivania. And as you return back to Shearer Vale, you can see several. And they don't really have, I mean, they have like some wooden walls they've put up. They don't have anything like what Corvin has with some stone walls. But you can see several who are keeping a watch out, and they've kind of spread about. But there is enough moonlight. They do see you approaching. You do see some caution because they can't quite make out if you're friend or foe. But when you come close, you see, at least their silhouette, there's a bit of, you can see a bit in the moonlight anyway. You see a bit of relaxation. Travelers, what news?
Well, we have met a warg party, a goblin warg party, and it is no more.
And you say, open the gate, let them in. And you hear, shortly after you hear the gate coming undone, it's pushed open. One of the men steps out and he's looking about left to right. I said, please come in.
So we go in.
And you overheard in the background some voices saying, Go and get Elwyn. And as the gate is going shut and being bolted shut, you see a small group of people, and in the moonlight you can see the white hair of Elwyn. He's not extremely old, but he's a man in his 50s, you would gather. My men tell me you have dispatched a hunting party. Orcs, goblins.
That is so.
And that is the source of the wolf howls, the wargs.
Yes.
Well, one source anyway.
Mm-hmm.
They were not the only group that was out looking for this place.
They were looking for us?
They saw your hunting parties.
It's getting worse, he says to some of his men. And one of them nods. And he's like, just as you said.
They wish to slay all the good folk that live, and they're spreading into your lands. You must consolidate your forces with the other township.
Yes, it would be best, given your small numbers, to possibly go to Corvin and assist them. Their fortifications are better there.
I remember you mentioned something of it earlier today. It has weighed upon us since you've departed looking for the source of these howls. And many have spoken up in favor of such a move. We've put a lot of effort in building these walls, but a full-on attack and assault. Some of us have seen battle before. These walls will not stand.
No, this is not a defensible habitation for you in this area, in this region.
We have managed to stay hidden for quite some time, but I fear our luck is failing us.
We combated these enemies not a mile from your settlement.
It is only a matter of time.
You see, with that, you see a number of the men, and there's some of the women have come out. You see, look to one another, and a look of shock on their face, and just worry.
I'm gonna point to the sky, which is probably still visible.
You point what? Sorry.
Smoke in the sky, which is probably still visible. It's
yeah, it would. A little bit of it, yes,
Yeah.
it would be.
And a full moon, yeah.
Yep. It is late now. We will double, well, we already have, but we will keep our guards on the walls doubled for the night. And we will consider this option on the morrow. Please do accept our hospitality, and we can provide quarters for you. Not to mention, I would be lying if I said I wasn't glad for the extra security. And he mentions to people, bring our guests. some drink, and a bit of food. Let them rest while we prepare a place for you to stay. And so they escort you into the inner sort of circle of their dwelling. And you're brought fresh water and some bread and a bit of stew. Meanwhile, they've prepared places. It's not a stable, but it's right next to a stable. But it does have a roof. You can tell they've moved some of their farming tools out of the way. It's not the greatest, but it will do. It will be a roof over your heads anyway.
You're most kind.
No, the thanks goes to you.
Nonetheless, we thank you anyway.
And they retreat for the night. And you're able to sleep well. And it is now the 10th of Yevania. And you awake. You can see all of the people on this hamlet are very well awake by the time you awaken. And they seem to be gathering. Normally you would think that a place like this would be people be busy about their work. But many of them are standing round. Some are finishing off some breakfast. And they bring food to you as well. And Elwyn, once you have broke your fast, Elwyn comes to you. Many of us have thought long and hard over the remainder of the evening and much talk this morning. And we feel that your advice, your counsel is wise. And we shall make for Corvin. We have a couple of wagons and some draught horses. We could gather what belongings as we may. Although we haven't much anyway. The farming tools we can leave, we can build more. Although I don't know if there's much hope for us in Corvin, is what you say from last night. But more so than here. It is with heavy heart, though. We have called Shearer Vale our home for a few years now.
It seems Corvin has called it for that. Has called theirs for longer. And
Yes.
are more reluctant to leave it. They seem even harder set to stay, despite those odds. If you think you could convince them otherwise better than us, I mean, you are out in the wilds. Orcs do roam the countryside.
Our best hope for saving Shire Vale is by abandoning it. Perhaps when the darkness is driven from these lands and the shadow's taint no longer spreads, you might return.
Indeed, this does not have to be forever.
Is there much hope?
There's always hope.
Hope is within each of us.
Your words encourage me. You see several nod in agreement. There are many of us who would journey back towards Breeland, but there would be more strength in numbers if we were in Corvin. It is a discussion we shall have, although such a journey would be quite dangerous, I'm sure. I know something we will have to weigh up. Where do you go from here?
We ourselves are headed for Bree. However, if you would like some extra help in the day or so it will take to get to Corbin, I look to my companions. I'm sure we can get. I'm not gonna speak for everyone, but
You have already done so much for us. But I would not say no to such an offer. We do have some women and children with us. And quite a few sturdy men and women. Good fight. But the more the better.
I think we got a long rest, by the way, Wander.
Oh, yes. You can all take a long rest.
I actually could write ahead. Could have even started writing ahead in the night, Corbin, and tell them what's happened. Maybe have a convoy meet halfway.
Well, it will take us a few more hours to gather up our things. And we will not be able to ride fast, but you, good sir, could. And Elwyn turns to everyone. Right, we are agreed. Let us gather what we can. Should set out before midday. And people immediately start scattering. You see a bit of fear in their face, a bit of excitement, a bit of hope of going to a place that would be a little safer for them. Almost as if they've convinced themselves of that. And that's what they're burning on right now, is that bit of hope. So do you ride on?
If it's only a few miles, I could get there on horseback probably in like 2 hours, 3 hours.
Yeah, if you went rapidly. I forgot to do. Yeah, I did that anyway. You didn't really need it, but there you go. Okay. So, Nankamandil departs. And the rest of you, do you lend a hand in helping them, like getting horses hitched up and
Sure.
Yeah, yeah. As long as Hogarth's got ours, I don't see a harm in helping.
Okay.
Um, did they say they're just going to leave everything as is for potential enemies to occupy, or are they going to kind of sort of sabotage it a
They
little bit?
they didn't mention that actually. They were more thinking of just getting the belongings not easily replaced, fitting what they can on their 2 wagons.
Oh, oh, I mean, I'll assist where I can, but I'm also going to try to make this not usable by enemy forces,
Okay.
where they can walk in and be like, "This is ours now."
How do you propose to do that?
Probably some form of craft to make it at least harder to. They're at least gonna have to do repairs at this place, probably. Hopefully,
Like a D craft.
yeah, like a D craft. You
Yeah.
know, spawning the area.
Yeah, you can roll craft to, you know, orcs don't like the light, so you can make it so there's a lot of light that comes into their dwellings.
Yeah. All right.
After we just finish telling them they could come back eventually, we're just going to destroy it.
Well, they can repair when they get back. But I would just rather the orcs not have a staging post, like a day's journey from. I mean, they already had one that's we set on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow!
Wow.
You rolled 666. Sorry, I can't resist.
Yet it's a very success.
Very well done. And is that a taste for the rolls that we're going to have again for this second session? Other than the insight rolls earlier, but
That extraordinary success, can I make it like really bad for the orcs, but like possible for them to come back and repair the good people? It's just
yeah, I'll give you a bit of that. It's something that you've done it in a way that just at a glance the orcs coming through and think, oh, I'm bothering with this. But like you've taken out, you know, shutters or shingles, but you've done them nicely so that and kind of hidden them a bit so they can easily just be tacked back on. But the orcs won't know that when they look. I'd say that sounds about the way it would be.
all right.
Carefully deconstruct everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very dwarf. It's like here, just gonna move some stuff.
Okay. Oh, we were doing that. Agamandil, riding like the wind. Having taken out the orc encampment north of Corvin and this warg party, you don't run into any resistance on your way there. You don't see the signs. I don't know, but you're going quite fast, so you can't really scan that well, but you don't see any obvious signs of any further patrols. But I will have you make one scan roll, please.
Ooh.
There's a Gandalf. And,
I'll take that.
yeah.
I used a hope just because.
Oh, you did? Okay. And you're feeling pretty confident that this migration to Corvin is... Though you don't want to let your guard down, but you feel like there's no signs of any sort of work activity at this point in time. As long as you make the trip pretty quick, like. And you make your way back to Corvin. And you see It is as you left it. But there are many on the wall looking out. And you're going quite fast, so they're... Rider from the south. What news?
Hail. I just run in, come to a skidding stop, like in the middle of town.
Oh, it's Angamandil.
Jump off the horse.
Get the gate. You ride alone as they escort you into the gate. Someone tends to your
I ride
horse.
alone, but I ride alone, but many others follow. Shirvale is abandoning its post and heading here. Their orcs and goblins roam the wilds.
How have they fared?
Well, for now, they are able-bodied. You are better off as one, two separate. We will need help. Arrange a convoy of wagons and any mules you have to meet them. Must not leave anything for enemies to garnish against yourselves.
Indeed, right. And he speaks to the men near him. Gather a team, quickly. We must depart at once. And bring this elf some water. And they are literally ready to go within about 20 minutes.
That training we instilled with him really did the job, huh?
Yeah, you had an entire music montage. And
Just look about and you see a slight smile. Approval.
And you see they have a couple of wagons. A few are riding on... They have a couple of draft horses pulling the wagons, but a few are... They have a few extra horses. Some of them are riding separately on that. Lead the way. We are ready. You've got about six people. Actually, there's 7 going with you. And you depart. Now, you guys back in Sheer Vale. About 11 a.m. comes. And they're all assembled in Sheer Vale in the center. No one looks about. Well, it has been our home. But I hope to return. And he looks to his people. We shall return. This is not the end. But today we go to be safe. Guard yourselves. And make haste.
Bane nods in agreement. My folk have had to make many a migration, and we hold our homelands in high regard. We have always returned and taken back into them. This shall be the same. I try to be inspiring.
Okay. Go ahead.
And
You're...
do not worry, friends. I shall notify other rangers of this location and have them check to make sure that no orcs have come here until you can safely return.
Then let us depart.
Indeed.
And away they go. And in the distance, after you've been traveling a few hours, a couple of hours anyway, you can see a group traveling towards you. What you think, because you can't make out the numbers from this distance. But Agamandil said that he would bring a group back, and you suspect this is probably what it is.
Yeah, unless I see orcs and wolves, I'm gonna be okay with it.
Yeah. And as you get a little bit closer, you can tell it's definitely not orcs or wargs. You can see the telltale movement of some wagons being pulled. And as they get closer, you see that it is indeed Agamando leading a group of half a dozen people from Corvin. You recognize many of them. You spent a week with these people. And oh yes. Which is, my mouse is acting weird. So, a second. I can't. Oh, on the wrong thing again. Oh yeah. Brandir is one of the ones who's with them. The young man that you had rescued in the first place. And you see, they greet each other. The people from Sheer Vale and those from Corvin, they haven't seen each other in a little while, but you see some recognition. And they transfer put as many people as they can on the wagons. And on some of the horses, they've doubled up with some people. And they managed to get, one way or another, everyone who was on foot in a wagon. And turn around and head back towards Corvin. Albeit a little bit faster now that no one is walking. All told, you get back to Corvin roughly about 5 p.m. at the latest. Or getting on towards 5, actually. And as you get there, and you notice this too, Agamandil, the rest of the people of Corvin who didn't come with you, have been busy. You can tell they're arranging for some makeshift sort of dwellings. Moving a lot of equipment out of, like, the places that stored, like, equipment and stuff for them, so to turn it into housing. The common room has been set with bedding. And they shut the gate behind. And of course, your horses are tended to. And might as well go there. And your tokens are already there. Gigantic tokens. I don't have tokens for other people from Sheer Vale, but you can imagine them. And Giles goes to Elwyn and says, "Your people are welcome here for as long as you will. Our fortune of these travelers coming to us in our time of need. We have fortified our place. And And there is much for us to think of. But for now, let us rest. So there's a lot of activity as, the horses that came from Sheriff Vale are put into the stables. Belongings are being offloaded off their carts and set aside, and people are just relaxing. It's quite a ride. And food is being prepared, and a lot of conversation. A lot of people are engaged in conversation. You can overhear bits of conversation weighing up different ideas on what they should do. Subtle little friendly arguments about different courses of action. And the sun sets. What are your plans then from here?
We should definitely continue on our way to Bree.
That is our next course of direction.
Yes, we had no idea if there were any other orc encampments. Does us no good to go searching for them and delay our journey to Bree.
No. Well, we have to go to Bree first in the step of our journey. That was the plan. We should stick to it. We're probably already behind on our planned arrival. But
Yes.
Okay. Let's... I'm going to... Since Chris isn't here, I'm going to put Bane you as the... Well, I was going to suggest you be the guide. Unless you want me to roll as an NPC for Fulvis. You're also qualified for being a guide. I don't know if we have anyone else qualified for being a scout, though.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Well, that, and I think Fulvis is officially better because I'm pretty sure his heart TH is way lower than mine to hit. Mine's like a 17. So even though I have 3 dice and I'm favored on it, I still have to roll pretty high.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's his main stat.
I'm set up to be the lookout.
Yeah, he's got a 13 he has to beat. And I think his skill is the same as yours. It's favored and, yeah, it's the same thing. Favored and a 3rd level, but still.
Yeah,
All
I mean,
right.
I have a thing that can give me boost dice, but it's still... I still have to hit 17, so...
Yeah, okay.
I mean, my 16 isn't much better, but it is slightly better. It's...
All right. So if there was nothing you guys wanted to do, the evening passes. It's a little bit more crowded. You don't have quite the area to sleep in what you had before when you stayed here, but it's understandable. But you notice already some of the people from Sheriff Vale are up helping to guard the walls.
Definitely have more men.
Yes. All right. The 11th Yvania. The morning you wake up. They bring to you some smoke-cured meats, a couple of loaves of bread, refilled your water, and your horses have been well fed and prepared for the journey. And both Elwyn and Giles and Brandir, all the people are there as you're about to go. We cannot thank you enough for what you have done for us, and we will consider what you say. The journey back towards Breland would be dangerous, but it may prove to be the lesser danger. But we do feel our situation has been much improved with your help. And should you pass by this way ever again, please look in on us. There's always a place for you here.
Thank you, friends. I shall also pass along to other rangers to have them come and check in on you all.
That would be most kind.
Bane will not. And do not be lax in your defenses. Keep improving them. Increase your larder. You may never know when you need it.
We will not soon forget your guidance.
Stay healthy, my friends.
And they open the gates. And you begin your journey. All right. Now, I need to do some rolls.
Which I am completely useless on.
Yeah.
You were really good at riding earlier. Maybe you're leading the horses.
If something happens on a journey, you'll be glad you have me, but don't expect me to do anything while we're going out there.
All right.
Well, how's your looking around skills? Lookout. Any good in that?
No, none of the skills for journeys. I don't think you have any, do you? I don't think you have 1 point in any of them. If I remember right.
Well, who's your? I was just reading into this again. Who's your fellowship focus?
I don't know if I remember. Is that on my sheet?
It would be if you wrote it down. It'd be on the top front
I
page.
wonder if I missed that too. Oh.
Well, you don't necessarily start with one. It's up to you.
Yeah, you basically
Yeah.
decide. I think you can actually decide per session, I believe. But usually keep the same one. I imagine.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't remember what that is. I'm like going through the book right now too, trying to find it.
It's just something that you would have chosen. For example, Sam and Frodo were each other's fellowship focus. Merry and Pippin were each other's fellowship focus.
Like I know mine's Herobrand, just because we came from roughly the same area.
Yeah.
Although there are some virtues you can pick up that give you more.
All right. Okay.
But the only
I don't know.
because if you pick one and you can actually help them, and basically you spend and regain that hope point in the same go. It's weird, but wow. All right.
Would likely be Wanderer because we went out and hunted the orc band together, so we have kind of a bond now.
I was
Yeah.
thinking that in addition to us as a ranger, I spent time in Rivendell,
Yeah.
and Ella Ray, she would have been my original one, but hey.
Because it's actually interesting. 'Cause if you help your fellowship focus, like you can spend hope on them, which gives them bonus die. But then it gives them more bonus die. Actually, I think it goes from like 1D to 2D, and then also you basically regain it. It's like a weird thing.
That gives me something to do on journey phases.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you going to stick to your red path?
I don't see why not.
Okay.
Although I've encountered quite a lot along this river, but why not at this point?
All right. One second.
Yeah, players providing support to their fellowship focus make them gain 2D instead of 1D.
Like a hope.
And I think what they mean by regaining the hope point almost immediately is basically anytime we take a rest, if you're resting with your fellowship focus, you actually boost your own hope gain. Like it gives you an extra point of hope if you're in the same resting spot. Because you're together.
Okay. Damn it. All right.
Just a-
Hunter's Hairbrand. I need you to make a hunting roll, please.
Just straight up.
Yep, straight up. Cool. All right, you managed, as you're getting closer to the East Road, you managed to easily find some game, plus you had the foodstuffs that they gave you in Corvin, so it kind of helped supply it. As a result, you guys have made really good time, and you've made it to the last bridge in 2 days.
It's so much travel.
You're able to find, well, 2.5 days actually, but you're able to find, the path was easy going.
Of course, we already took care of the river camp.
Yeah.
And the one-shot party took care of the keep.
So 2 days have passed. It's now the 13th. And I need to move you along here. Oops. I'm on the wrong thing. I always forget to put it back on whether I'm on the measurement tool or whatever. I always forget. Why can't I select a token? Because, moron, you're not.
Now we're on an actual road.
Yeah, so this is going to make things a little bit easier for you. And
It's been a while.
it has been a while, and and it's less dangerous. You're out of the Darklands. You are still in what's called the Wildlands, though. All right. I'll make another roll for Fulvis for the travel. Great success.
I'm glad you can see it.
Oh,
Yeah, he did
sorry.
his
I
private
had it as private. I didn't mean to. There you go. There we go. Let's see.
It's like maybe my computer's having a bit.
Let's see.
I forget. Does great and extraordinary success lower just time or fatigue, or both? Well, I guess time is fatigue.
Sorry, did they do what? Sorry?
Or does having a great success and extraordinary success lower your does lower the amount of fatigue you take, which I guess is also decreasing the time?
Well,
Or
it
is
does so by generally by decreasing the time.
Okay.
It helps. It determines how many hexes of journey. So I have a different map that shows stuff that players should see, but it's done in hexes, and so more successes increases the number of hexes of travel before we roll to see if there's some sort of event.
Gotcha.
But you have managed. Let me get back to the map here. You've made good time on the road. And you are, I'll just calculate the number of days you'll be able to go. Let's see. 1, 2. Halfway through your third day away from the last bridge, and you are seeing Weathertop in the distance. And I need to see if anything happens to you.
One of the elf talents is roll twice, take the better one, which I would never take that because that's more interesting if things happen on the road.
Well, being
Well, I
on the road, it is a little bit less dangerous. So the rolls that I'm making are not so. Oh, look at that!
Also, I think there's one for elves also that I think it's of Elder Days. Basically, you treat all. I think you treat at least some of the areas as less dangerous because you're familiar with them. Like Borderlands become familiar, or something becomes Borderlands.
Yeah, well, it's you're in what's called Wildlands, but yeah, Borderlands are getting there. Okay, Wanderer, I need you to make an awareness roll, please.
Okay.
With a hope die from me,
Okay.
just mark inspired for that, or
So
Yes.
it gives her 2D instead of 1D.
Inspired. Okay.
Is
So
she
mark inspired and not,
Well,
or support from companion.
it's support from companion is what makes it
And
inspired.
Yeah,
But
and
if
then
if you have a hold on before you roll that.
Okay.
If you have, hold on, where's it at? Damn it! Ah, here we go. A distinctive feature that would help you with that. You can use it, but you do have to spend a hope as well. But you would get 2 bonuses if you did.
Okay.
If not, you've just got
Swift.
help from companion.
well, help from companion, and he's her favorite, which would get her an additional dice.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, so if you help,
Yeah, the fellowship roll, or was that what it was called? Yeah.
fellowship focus.
Fellowship focus.
Fellowship focus. Yeah. Okay.
Thanks for bringing that in. We haven't really been focusing on that role. getting new rules,
really-
not new rules, but remembering the smaller rules, and that's one I'd forgotten.
Oh,
think
it's
this
like
is the first time it come up.
I stumbled across it myself again. I was like, oh, this would actually be very useful considering we
Yes,
help
it
each other.
is. Yeah, well, it's the nature of it. Okay, so you have
Okay.
help from companion, but how do you tick it on the box? Is there a spot for that?
Well,
I
it's
think
just like the hope. It's a little box that you just check and it highlighted it that and the inspired.
yeah. So you'd have to because I don't think it realizes he's your fellowship focus. So you'd probably have to hit help from companion and then hit an additional dice of a bonus.
Or just click
Done.
inspired, and that will do it. We'll,
Oh,
we'll
Yeah.
count the dice to see if it's giving you 2 extra ones.
Yeah, when you do normal hope, it adds. So okay.
Yeah, so it
I-
should work, but make sure you click inspired though, and then we'll see.
Okay, I did.
That's a lot of dice. Great
Mhm.
success. Is that the right dice you expected? 2 more dice.
I can't remember what I'm supposed to roll.
Well, how many? What is your awareness?
It's 3, and it's favored.
Okay,
So
well the favored worked. I saw that. But no, it only gave you 1 extra dice.
Okay.
You should have 5 dice. You only got 4. Interesting. Did I put a dice roller down in the macro for you? It looks like a Gandalf rune.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Do 1 base die with that, or 1 base die, not a feat die.
Oh, so no feat, 1 success.
Yeah, 1 success die.
2.
Another 2. So okay, it didn't give you a great success. You already passed. You had the right number of points, but if it got another 6, it would give you an extraordinary success. Let's keep paying attention down the dice roller to make sure these things work out. So 3 dice would have been your skill, and then you only got the 1 boost from the hope. Okay. No events happened to you, but you managed to notice something on Weathertop. And it's subtle to anyone else, they wouldn't have noticed it. But to a ranger, you suspect you have a friend of your people up there. Keeping an eye on the road. And you've managed to make good time.
I also have a sneaking suspicion. I know why I didn't roll the correct dice.
Why is that?
Because inspired just means if she spends hope, and I don't think you spend any hope.
Yes, indeed.
Hmm.
Yeah, we should have just done a +1, like you guys suggested, instead of listening to me. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's exactly why.
So the inspired thing almost does nothing?
Well,
You spend 1 hope, it makes it 2. It makes it
Oh.
like if you spend your own hope.
Yeah, so in the future you just would add a +1 down on the slider, but it's okay. We got there
Okay.
by doing it the other way. But you've seen the signs up in the top of Weathertop. And you will know, I mean, I assume you know as a player, but if not, Rangers maintain lookouts here quite often, and there's a hidden area to where they put a stash of sometimes food, sometimes, dry firewood, whatever you might have. It's kind of one of those things that when you visit it, you stop there, and if you've got some stuff to spare, you leave it for a traveler. And if you need something, then you take it from what has been left there from before. But with that great success, it looks like a deliberate sort of maybe reflecting the sunlight down towards you in a certain way that is a signal. And 2 more days have passed. Let me mark that on the calendar. It is now the weekend. Not that that's important to you guys.
I was just thinking that.
Suddenly,
Works always go out on the weekend.
yeah. Suddenly your frat and sorority houses are, yeah, party down. All right. You're at the base of Weathertop. And you're in the halfway through the middle of the 3rd day when you notice this. You know,
Well-
just from journey, you could be to the peak of Weathertop. It would be the next day by the time. I mean, you're seeing it a little bit in the distance, but actually, I am wrong. You are just a little bit further down. I haven't moved you down the road at all, have I? No, I have, but not far enough. Of course, I'm not. Whoops. You were there. Otherwise, you're seeing that from like a reflection from 10 miles away. That's a bit too far. You're at the base of it. And
I posted a visual picture of what that guy's or girl up there is doing.
yeah, there you go. Yes, let me bring it.
You
So
do
you-
not own any.
Oh, just set. Oh, well, hold on. Let me set that. Damn it.
I guess the camera could be here.
No,
Wherever the
you shouldn't. You shouldn't have that. I didn't set it right. How about now?
Now I can see it.
There you go. Okay, I'm gonna put your fellowship token down there.
Okay.
That's where you are. Now you know just from traveling here that a little ways down the road is the remains of like an archway that used to exist. But you're halfway through this 3rd day, so you know that there's a much better way up to Weathertop on the west side. If you can faintly see on this drawing, they have drawn in the ranger trail on the left of your map. You can see it there, there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But it's not. It's something that's as is the ranger way. It's something that is well hidden. But
And you said it would take us half a day to get to the
well,
top?
to get to the other side of this is going to take you the rest of this day.
That's probably the safest place to camp anyway.
Down here at the base, it'd be much safer to camp than right here on the road. Or are you talking about right here on this road?
I was talking about within the weather.
Oh, I see. Like here in the trees.
Well, I'm saying like, because I'm assuming.
Oh, that is not accurate. That
Like
oh god,
there.
look at that. 60 miles to. It's
Oh,
a 60-mile hike up to the top of Weathertop.
I figured it was crazy. The measurement was great, but I'm saying
Yeah.
you probably camping within the building would be warmer than camping at the foot of the.
Well, we could
Yeah.
only get to the beginning of the trail.
Unless you hike up
Like
at night.
here.
You could hike
Which,
up at night. It's up to you.
Well-
Well,
Given the glint I'm getting, it appears we have someone is trying to gain our attention from Weathertop. We should probably see what they.
That's accurate now. Really accurate.
What they want.
Sorry. So
Perhaps get some news.
plus we
Indeed.
could see around for miles up there.
Oh,
Given the time of day, we could just make it to the trail the rangers use to get to the top
Hold on a
and
second.
camp there.
Can I send a bird up?
Aha.
Been a while since I've done that.
It has been a while.
Maybe he has a similar feature. Who knows? Maybe he's-
Well, we could a little birdie. We could put a little message on him.
Carrier pigeon.
Yeah. Let me what are we doing here?
I believe it's a persuade or a what? There's a skill you normally use. Use persuade because you have it favored. I think is what
persuade.
you do.
Yeah, I persuade my little bird.
Well, you need to call, see if there's one around. For go ahead and make the roll.
And that's the persuade roll.
Yeah. Favored and 3 dice should be. Oh, those ones! Look at those ones.
Oh, did I do a favored? Hold on, I don't think I did favored.
It did
so.
favored. It rolled
I
2,
did it, okay. Oh, yeah, I see it rolled it. Yep.
6 and a 1. Oh no.
No birds.
There's no birds at the moment.
Hmm.
They said it's too hot.
Oh well.
I mean, we can definitely decide once we get to the trail. I'd rather camp in a building, but I think that's just Bane's dwarf in this talking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you journey on to the west side. Get there by.
I mean,
Go ahead.
we're pretty close to Debris. Wanderer could go up top, and we can just be a few hours behind us.
Well, I think it's still going to take us a few days.
Half a day behind us.
I mean, it depends on how well Fulvus would roll our travel roll, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
it could be a
Yeah,
failure.
I would prefer to
Well,
stay
it's-
together.
Half.
Just because who knows? Maybe who knows what's up there. Perhaps there's a wounded ranger and they need help, and I don't, you know.
Well, if you think that's the case, we should go up immediately.
I mean, I have
Not
no
to
idea what's up there, but
not to mention if we venture onwards, we are going to hit eventually the site of Adelrest's ambush, which who knows if they're still there. I mean, I'm not afraid, but just as an off note.
Well,
You could be up to, because normally you want to break camp as the sun, or no later than the sun beginning to set. But if you really pushed for it, you could be at the top, get to the west side and go up that trail, be at the top, and it'd be dark if it wasn't it's not a full moon anymore, but it is still mostly full as it's waning. But it would be, I don't know, like 10 p.m. or something like that by the time you got to the top.
and
I
I
think
would
between-
know the path well. That
Oh, you would
Being-
indeed.
Not to mention we have probably a few. I know I have a lantern, but I'm sure other people have sources.
yeah.
Of light
Do we want
on
to
our way.
announce?
Well, as
No,
far as
so-
I'm aware, Wanderer said this person's friendly up there.
Do you want to signal anything back, Wander? You would know methods.
yeah, that's probably a good idea. Go ahead and signal back. Make sure it is indeed another ranger, not someone.
Some kind of Morse code.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Semaphore, yeah.
yeah. And you do so, and shortly after, you recognize a response. And it's basically it says, friend, friendly. It's very basic sort of things. Supplies.
So they're telling us they have supplies for us.
Do we need to restock anything?
And you've run out of the food stuff that's come from Corvin.
But we still have good.
And then you see another signal, and it's a signal that basically asks, who are you? to your knowledge, this is a type of signaling that only Rangers know.
Okay, well, I will signal back, giving my name and asking the same back.
Replying back, it's Moonwolf.
Yeah.
It's one of the Rangers that
Well, I got
met was in Rivendell. He was part of the party who headed west. And the way knowing how Rangers work, you suspect he decided, or the group decided, it would be wise to leave one here to watch for you. Would be normal way of operation. Plus, it's also a thing. Rangers take it in turns to watch the East Road from Weathertop.
Oop, that's the wrong chat.
Ah, that would be our friend Moonwolf. He must be waiting for us, looking for us to pass through on our way to Bree.
You see great relief on Fulvis's face.
Well, I'm assuming Moonwolf is no longer at Foremost. He's at Weathertop.
Yeah, that was the last you know. Let me change that. Where is
So we
it?
can get,
There he is.
I
get to the base of the ruins,
Oh, you've done it.
basically.
You've already done it. Thank you.
We could get to the base before the sun sets.
Yeah. So do you
It
want
would
to just
take
do
it.
that and camp? At least there's some type of shelter and.
I carry a lantern as well. I think we should make for the top.
Yeah, I'm for that idea. I mean, we can camp inside with him, and he can.
It is
fill
a
us in.
path I know. It is a path I know well,
Okay.
so it wouldn't be too treacherous, especially
we-
giving the little bit of
we
light
want-
we have.
Do we want open? I mean, do we want to have lights and to let people know that we're? I mean, people probably can see far lights on top of Weathertop.
I mean, do we see he has a light up there?
It's daytime, so he was signaling with something reflective.
And he's probably hidden. If he would, he probably would hide it somehow. A fire or something. But I'm saying, if we're going up there, people may see. Oh, there's people up on Weathertop.
I mean, I'm not saying we light a flare off, but I mean, if I
No. But
if I
don't know.
pin my lantern to like a pinprick, I'm sure we can keep following the path for those.
Well,
who
it's
are...
also not, like I said. It's also almost a full moon. You probably don't.
To be fair, I think you might be the only. Well, you and Fulvis might be the only two that actually need it, because I have dark for dark business, so
Yeah.
I'm fine.
I know the
sure.
path well.
And it's not pitch black. I mean, so I can't. I've walked at night in the moonlight and not run into trees.
Do you
I do
go
not
up?
think it is a negative thing for it to be known that there are people about.
Mm-hmm. And I could probably navigate that path with my eyes closed. So if everybody stayed close and right behind me,
So up you go.
Hmm.
All right.
Sure.
yeah.
And you make your way up. A little bit from about this point, it gets a little bit steep for horses. And good old Hogar.
Oh yeah, good old Holgar.
Waits
If
behind.
whatever skill with animals he doesn't have increased at this point, I'm surprised.
Yeah, really. Tell me about it. He's really good friends with all the horses. And oops, where is that? Oh, we go.
Maybe he's of the faction of those boar riders or the goat riders over in Erebor. Maybe that's why. Maybe he's just really friendly with them.
All right. And as you draw up there, you hear a familiar voice. Hail and well met, friends. And it is indeed Moonwolf. Completely alone. Who steps out. And,
It is good to see you.
and you. We have waited
are well?
for you. I am. I've waited for your arrival. Long
What
have I
news
watched the
have you?
road. There is much, but much has happened. But come. Not here. Let's go up. It's a little bit safer. Hogar looks like, not for me. But, you can lead the horses up just a little bit further into there. Please, friend, you can secure the horses in here. It's like a sheltered area. There's not a shelter, but I meant like trees of sorts. A bit of ruin as well. You can tie them here and come up. We can watch from above. They'll be within eyesight. I have seen no signs for the past couple days anyway of anyone coming this way. At least of any dangerous sort, orcs and such. And it takes you on up to an area within the ruins. We'll be safer here. I have food. Fresh water. You must be tired. By the way, I need you guys to make a oh, damn it. I'm on the wrong page. 1 second. I need you to make a travel roll. And even if you don't have travel, just roll it anyway.
Alright.
This is to determine fatigue.
Jesus Christ.
And I'm not finding the exact really. I know it exists, but I can't find the exact written part of it. Oh, here we go.
I really rolled well.
Not that that matters. Oh, jeez. Not
That didn't sound good.
that was Zach Mendel's one dice.
Perfect.
Oh dear. Well, it's not a skill roll, so it doesn't actually increase. Someone's got some travel. Oh yeah, I forgot. You failed too.
Yeah.
Focus.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't increase our eye? I feel like it makes total sense to do that right now, too.
Well, it's only for skill rolls. Well, it is a skill roll. Sorry, you're not trying. I just thought it wasn't, but yeah, okay. Cool.
I think that means just a non-combat.
Cool. I get to do it.
Doesn't
I get
make
to
sense
do it.
either.
Here it goes. Yes.
Well, it makes sense. We're getting towards our hunt threshold considering we've killed so many of them.
Uh-huh. Fulvis. Um, yeah, as you come to, sorry, go ahead.
It's not a one of us made it, huh? Oh no, Fulvis made it. That's it.
Fulvis did, which means the rest of you gain 2 fatigues. Fulvis only gains 1.
Is that already minus the horse?
Oh, you know what? I didn't take the vigor out of the horse. Yes, I think you all have horses that are their vigor is 1, if I remember right. Yes. Okay, so you all take 1, and Fulvis takes none.
Fulvis was very happy today.
He sure is.
By the way, there's a really nice ranger feat that I saw, or feat. There's a ranger virtue I saw that if you're just wearing leather armor and no shield, there's no fatigue on your journey. Which, jeez.
Wow.
Ooh, I remember that.
That is a great talent, or virtue, sorry.
Which one was that? Ways of the Wild? I
Yeah.
forgot about my virtues.
All right. Gamondale, as you're going on up to the ruins and securing the
That's
horses,
magic.
Endurance of the ranger.
Okay. Yeah,
just
no, I know
the feeling of what is, of learning a little bit more of the plans of the enemy, and I know you're just feeling the weight of that as you come to rest. Now that you've, like, the adrenaline of being on the journey and watching over your back and such is just kind of faded, and the weight of what is going on has just kind of come over you a bit. And he has a small fire, shielded so that it doesn't project light. Very small. And he sits down and he lights up a pipe. And he's put his pipe weed bag out. If you guys, he holds it up if any of you want.
Oh yeah, I'll take a little bit.
Bane will take some. I'm sure Fulvis will take. will take some.
I got resupplied in Bree. I'm sure you have many stories of your travels. And while we have awaited, we have been busy.
Yes,
We have been busy. Sorry?
I was going to say we have also been busy assisting some villages with orcs and wargs and
Villages. Where are they based?
we had
In the
Corvin,
hill, Rudolph,
yeah, in the hills.
alongside the Horwell.
It's a dangerous place to have a village.
Indeed. There was a second one, but we convinced the folks living there to abandon their home and join up with Corvin. That was the best we could do. They did not want to leave their homes. So we
Understood.
assisted them with fortifying their walls and training their people the best we could.
When next I make a trip eastward, I will look in on them.
Be much appreciated.
Talendale has had the Rangers step up their patrols here around the Shire and Bree. The Shire will not be attacked again. They've doubled the amount of patrols, and then have pressed on in a further radius around them, sending out scouts.
Good to
Well,
hear.
We
People
know,
of the Shire are friendly people.
yes, and we know where their captives, along with my folk, are headed, if not already there.
Huh.
And I will try to remember names, which I'm horrible at. They're headed towards Radgul at Radgul at Mount Graham.
That is news. I am sure Talendil and Gandalf will wish to know that.
How well traveled, Moonwolf, are you in Rudar and the Etten Moors?
It has been some time since I've been that far. I've been mostly focused on the area around the North Downs of late. But I know the
Would
land.
you know what this map indicates? And I'll just, assuming we have it somewhere, unfurl it for him. Forts or just forces, maybe, if there are forts in the area.
Let's see, the term just out of character. Before they headed west, it's been a few sessions ago. No, that you hadn't gone up and spied on Mormog yet. You didn't know anything about. Okay, just trying to weigh it up. You say the orcs had this.
Yes, not far from Corvin.
And you say
They
that
had set
they're spreading into our land.
It would seem so. They're, at least it seems, in Rudar.
The way they are spread out like this, I would guess way stations, tactical points. If you were spreading an army out, you'd want to have strategic points for resupply. But why the circles? Some of them are circled and some are not.
Indeed.
Indicate some sort of difference. Maybe some are planned and some are complete. Or indicating higher strength, a bigger settlement perhaps. Or an encampment, sorry, not a settlement.
They did. I'm assuming they didn't mark. This is out of character. I'm assuming they didn't mark themselves this orc encampment with a circle, did they? They didn't have like their own place on this map.
No. It was a very rough map, to be honest, but close enough between Wanderer and Fulvis that the encampment where you found it was nowhere near one of these marks.
Okay, so they didn't mark themselves. The one we grabbed it from was established enough. I'll describe numbers and whatnot, and it would seem that Thorin at least had been through there, as we found his helmet.
Oh, that is
Now,
news.
if they were headed to Mount Graham, their probable next points would be one of these three. Though, by the looks of it, they had not been there in a while, so they could already be at Mount Graham. But at least with these points, the Rangers can scout and, even if they're small enough, maybe take out some of these points.
We must share this with Talendil.
Indeed,
Mhm.
we were headed towards everyone else. So, are they still within Bree, or have they made their way to Fornost?
No, our band has split into a few directions, to be honest. Gandalf has along with Rudigar, once they met up with Aedoras, who had recovered from his wounds in Bree, Belar and Aedoras and Gilraeth and Rudigar headed west with Gandalf onto the Shire. Gandalf was very quiet and distant in his thoughts, which is not out of character for him. Hard to understand him, but he was very concerned about the Shire, and off he went. That happened almost immediately once we got into the area. For the rest of his Talendale and the Dunedain he could summon up have been scouting the North Downs. And he believes he is located an area where they are base of operations, perhaps, or there's a lot of activity. There.
I forget. Was that my rough X here? I know it wasn't exact for I think that one.
I'm on a different map. Hold on. That.
I think that was a rough X.
Yeah, that was a rough. Yeah, that was just a guess from your part, but yeah. People on the Greenway. There's been a lot of attacks of late. Once we got back to the area, we had learned that from him. And it's from those attacks that they had followed some bandit activity. Him and a small host of Dunedain are in a hidden encampment near there. Raven, my traveling companion, along with two dwarves, Logan and Dogan, they are waiting for you in Bree. They may have an update as to what is going on, but they're waiting for you there. We didn't know where we would find you come, so I've been waiting here to keep an eye out for you, and they have awaited you there. I'm sure the dwarves are getting weary of sitting around, although they do enjoy their drink. But that's as much as I know from here. I've been waiting here I haven't had an update in a few days. But yes, that is where we stand. I believe it is Talendale's will. Anger grows within him. And for the Shire to be attacked and what he feels is on his watch, he's taken it really hard. He feels he has failed. And he wants to take out these bandits once and for all. But he looks at you, Wanderer. But you know he is a wise man and will not act rashly.
Yes, yes, indeed.
I feel that he would, at least for a while longer, he will await news of you and your party and what you have learned. I shall stay here and keep an eye on the East Road. but we shall camp here. Tomorrow I bid you to make haste to Bree.
Yes, indeed, we should.
Other than our other than our peoples, you said you have seen the enemy roaming from atop Weathertop?
I saw movement to the north not 2 days ago. And it was moving away from me. I couldn't tell if it was headed veering off northeast or northwest. It was too far.
I'm assuming he's going to point in a general direction off of Weathertop here. So he
Yeah.
saw them like around here. That
Well, that was
ish.
too far to see, but yeah, that direction.
All right. What was their, if you could make it out, what was their size and number and composition?
Hard to tell, but they moved like orcs. Not an army. Perhaps a large scouting party. Numbered less than 20. But I feel like it was more than 10.
Bane will not.
I wonder if they're using the ruins north of here as places to shelter from the sun that follow along the weather hills. Perhaps, although I didn't see, but perhaps they veered off to the northwest to follow the ruins. It would make sense.
It would, indeed. The ruins do provide good cover.
I would set a watch upon them as well. If we had the time, we would check, but we've already fallen enough behind as it is.
Yes, that is why I remained here. But let us rest
Yes.
and get an early start.
Indeed.
We're just past the halfway point. I wonder if you guys wanted to take a break.
Yes.
Sure.
Sure. Wonderful. Yes.
Okay. Although I don't think it makes much difference on your character because you haven't lost any more health, but you can take a prolonged rest, of course. It does not get rid of any fatigue, unfortunately. But,
No, it does not.
actually,
Unless does he? I know hobbits get some things. Does he get anything?
well, he doesn't. He wasn't down any sort of.
Well, I just know they have a lot of buffing other people things. So I was
Oh
like,
yeah, he's. I don't believe he's. There's a virtue you can take that helps with that, but I don't. He hasn't taken that
We do
one.
get some hope points, though, right? From prolonged rest. Is that how right?
You can.
Yeah.
You can spend fellowship points during a rest to increase hope. You can do that during a short rest as well, but so there's 6 points to distribute if you wish to do so now. We've got to spend them before the end of the time anyway. Here, I'll do a health check. There, you can see everything. Everyone's down. So you have 6 points to distribute if you wish. It's just occurred to me. Is there a limit to that?
Limit to what?
Like how many fellowship points can be spent during a rest? I don't think it's just whatever you decide to do. And I remember that's the most elusive. No, you guys decide. Yeah, you can spend all of them if you wish.
What do you guys want to do?
It's just a group decision, is all it is.
I mean, I'm fine if we want to save it till the end of session. I mean, I at least don't need it currently.
What are you? You're at 7 now.
Can you hit the hope thing again, Andy?
Yeah, that the one that's in there is the current one.
Yeah, that's the current one. I mean,
so-
I'm good. I don't really need a replenish.
I mean, I'm at half, but I mean, it's okay. I mean,
Okay.
unless we get into combat, I don't really need it at this point. And if we get into combat in the half a day's journey to here in Bree, I'm just gonna shake my head.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Let's see. I need to update this journey log just before we continue on. Current fatigue, and I haven't done so. Let's see. Fulvus has fatigue of 5.
I have to see if it kept the thing, because every time I try to add to the journey, it likes to get rid of it sometimes. Okay, it kept it this time. Good.
All right, so I'm on the journey log. So, how much does Bane have?
Currently, Bane
Yeah.
has 7, it says.
7? Is that? Okay. Is it accurate then? On here, Wanderer, do you have 6 fatigue?
Well, I think it's probably...
I got 2.
Well, I have one. I think it's because the issue was, like, it officially was one journey, but I think we stopped, rested in that place, got rid of our
Yeah.
fatigue, and continued
Yeah.
onwards.
Yeah. Is it? What is it on your
Yeah,
character sheet? Oh, you're down to
Yeah, I
1
only
then.
have like 1 from
Yeah.
when I just failed.
Ah,
something.
okay.
Yeah, I
Let me
had
change
1
on the journey.
fatigue. I don't know if I probably should have zeroed that out when we were in Corvin, but I had 1 fatigue, and then I gained another on our travel.
So
What
you
probably
got
would have happened
2
on
now.
this 2 different.
Yeah, I'm up
But-
to 2.
All right. I wonder if Chris reduced
Probably-
his, because he's still showing his 5.
See, what probably would have, I think probably what would have happened is, it would have been 2 different journeys officially, but I mean, we just kind of.
Yeah, I know. It was kind of we should have done, but it was just like a mini sort of fellowship phase I allowed for, but
Although it did.
not.
How many days of travel is that now? Because we officially increased by like a week. So,
Yeah, you have
20 days instead of 12 or something.
Yeah, I'm real surprised if that Fulvus is at 5 fatigue, or did he gain quite a lot? One of you had gained a lot. You'd rolled badly on the journey from the
I think
Edinburgh.
I
He
think
was at
rolling-
10.
Yeah,
He
he was rolling
was.
pretty.
Oh, that's
fatigued.
right. Yeah, he was just one tired hobbit. All right. Well, it is accurate then now. Okay.
Yeah, except he got because we just lowered our fatigue, right? So did he gain 1 or something, or he?
He didn't gain any from
All right,
from
He's
Corvin
still
to
sick.
Weathertop, so he's at 5. You guys are all at like 1 and 2. All right. I'll have updated that. Okay.
Agamemnon, what are you at? Because it still says you're at 6.
Oh, I thought it changed it. Damn it.
I'm not worried. I'll worry when I'm down to like 1 or 2.
Yeah, I was just updating them all, and I forgot to do.
Well, my fatigue is at 1.
Okay, yeah. I thought
I
I
hope I'm
changed it.
not worried about.
There we go. Now I'm just updating the journey sheet. Okay.
Fatigue, 6 hope.
One more thing. I need to add. Second.
I don't think I can add these events though.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was last thing I was. You've got 2 that in a row that were called shortcut. That's why you got so far so quick, with
Yeah,
little
because that was
problems.
his travel, right? That was his travel roll. Or no, because officially we had 1 hunting, right? Because that's how we gained a bunch of food.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm not gonna worry about it right now because I can't figure out how to add it on there. It's not working out, and I'm not gonna roll it because it's gonna make something random.
Yeah, it's not the most friendliest of sheets.
No. I have had some updates recently, but no, not that one. All right. Anyway, it's by the by. We don't need it to continue with this. All right. You are, with a steady ride, you are 2 days away from Bree.
All right.
Do you set out early?
Yes, we wanted to make haste and might as well, as soon as the sun comes up.
Oh, he was. I guess we would ask. I would have asked one more question because he's actually on his. He actually probably went to Bree and came back. He said so. Did you get to investigate the site of Adelross's ambush?
We did indeed. And despite weather, I was able to, from that point, I was able to investigate. It was a band, I guess they're numbered to be 10, around about 10. Orcs, no goblins. No wargs. And I followed their trail for a while just to get a sense of where they might have gone. And my best guess, it was towards Fornost. North for a ways, because it didn't. Once we got close to the Midgewater marshes, once it got north of that, it kind of turned to the northwest. And from that, I abandoned my journey and turned towards Weathertop.
That's good. So we don't need to investigate that.
No. I did pass on my findings to Talendale. Raven carried it to him. Not a Raven, but my friend Raven.
I can see where the confusion might come in.
Yes, it's happened before, actually.
Does she have a raven? Has she?
Did you see the wizard?
He was headed to the Shire, he said.
Yes. He did not linger long. And indeed, Rudigar and Mariner were eager to get back to the Shire.
And inform Bilbo.
Indeed. But Gandalf was away with thought. Concern for the Shire, yes, but there seemed to be something deeper. But he would not give any further info. But we have talked enough. Should make haste.
All right.
And he gives you some smoked meats and a loaf of bread. And I bid you all safe journeys. I'm sure we shall meet again soon. This business with the bandits and the orcs. There is dark business ahead for us all, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
But until I see you again. And he bows his head.
That went back.
Yes,
Until
bow back.
then, and be safe on the road.
Stay safe, my friend.
And he heads back up towards the top, Weathertop. All right, I'll make let me make this a public roll. I'll roll for Fulvis's travel roll. Well, got a Gandalf anyway. All right, let's see. That puts you... And same for myself. So, being on the road, you can... see. You have made half your journey. And a hunter. Herabrand. Whilst out on the hunt, I'm on the wrong page. Damn it. Ah, here we go. Whilst passing by a half-crumbled stone tower, the sunlight reflects off an unblemished wall of an ancient structure, the part of it that's still standing. And just for an instant, you saw a hint of its original greatness. It was revealed to you. It almost seemed like a vision, but you were like a ghost of the past. How once this land was full of a great realm. And it caused just a moment's pause in your hunt. And I want you to give yourself a hope point back.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
But at the same time, this is not that it was hidden from you, but it's made your current quest, the relevance, the weight of it. You realize that by no means can the destruction of the civilizations of Eriador happen again.
How far we've fallen.
Yeah. Cannot afford to fall any farther. But it doesn't cause any delays or anything like that. It was just a moment that happened while you're out on the hunt.
Actually, when I look at it, then I sort of bow my head for a second and touch my forehead and then continue the hunt.
All right. Other success. And you get close to Bree, and you're not far from it, and you're just about a day away, and on the road ahead of you, you see a wagon with a single horse, and there's a dwarf piloting it. But he's kind of off the side of the road. Now you know that the Forsaken Inn, which is quite a dive of an inn, which is about a day's ride outside of Bree, isn't that far away from where you're at. But he's moving slowly. And he comes to a stop. He's not coming towards you. He's coming away from you, going away from you. But his head is kind of bowed. And once he comes to a stop, you see him he kind of falls over into the seat. So he's kind of hidden from you at the moment. But he's not falling out of the wagon, but he's...
Pick up speed. Let's gallop up to him a little bit. Wonder if he's wounded or...
Yeah.
And you see, as you get closer, you see that looks to be a merchant, actually. You see like sort of not ornate chest, but sort of just, container, just very rough hewn sort of container sort of chests and bags and such. The bags look empty.
I yell when I'm, I don't know, let's say 30 feet away, something like that. Mr. Dwarf, are you well?
I'll speak in my own tongue. Are you okay, kinsman?
And as you get closer, you see his arm go back up onto the seat, and he kind of pulls himself up kind of wearily and looks at you and kind of rubs his eyes. Are you a sight for sore eyes? And you see he's been injured. Tell me. My eyes are weary. am I much farther from Bree?
You're about a day's journey, maybe less. Are you okay? You look.
Are you injured?
Yeah, I'm on my way back to the Arid Luine, but I was attacked by wolves. I knocked them down a peg or two. I can tell you that, but scared them away. But I'm so weary from my journey.
Were you bit? Were you?
Yes, I was. You can see his arm. He's wrapped it. It's kind of bloody. He's wrapped it.
We still. I mean, we have enough of it. I mean, we still have the mirror bar, right, guys?
Yeah,
Like,
I've got 2 containers of it.
Yeah, so I mean, we could give him a drop. I mean, we have enough of it, I think, unless anyone objects to that. But
I have no issue with that at all.
and then whatever other healing we have, I have none. So whoever wants to.
Either.
I would
Well, I've
immediately
got-
go to his wound and
Where were the
start
wolves?
tending to
Where
it.
did you meet the wolves?
Who moved the fellowship token?
Yeah, I didn't do that. So I was like, what? Everybody over here all of a sudden?
Yeah.
I'm trying to update my mirror war thing.
About a day's journey back east. I
On the
camped
road?
off to the side of the road. Where the trees are, there's a cropping of trees. Seemed to be a safe place to make camp, but the wolves had other ideas.
See.
I thank you kindly for. If you want to make a. Agamandil, if you want to make a.
One of my useful items is a healing kit also that I keep things in. So does that just give me a bonus dice, I think?
That.
I think you spent hope.
No, not for a useful item. It just gives you 1 bonus die. It's for a distinctive feature. You spend a hope, but yeah. So you get a +1 on that one. Plus, it's favored for you.
And while Agamandil's doing that, I'd hand him the bottle of Mirror of War and take a sip of this.
Success. Okay. You have cleaned out his wounds, bandaged them with much cleaner bandages and a fresh bandage as well. And you see it with the Mirror, it also restores a point of hope when it does so. And you see him. I thank you, Master Elf. Our people don't often see eye to eye, but I will not say a negative word about Elvish healing magic.
Bane will say, "This one's all right."
He nods to you. And here, I have done well as a merchant, and I have not been waylaid by any bandits on this trip. I will offer you this silver in return for your aid to me.
Bane will go. Well, unless someone else is going to immediately object, but Bane will go. I have no need for your gold. Just if someone else is harmed or in danger, just help them. It is dark times then. That is unless someone else wants coin, but
let this pay for. I assume you're heading to Bree, but let this pay for your lodgings.
if he insists, Bane will not
I
take
must. Here. He just presses it into your. He presses it into your hand. You will rest well. You will rest well tonight, and drink well tonight in Bree. But I'd share.
Was this the only?
Sorry.
Was this the only trouble you encountered on the kinsman?
It has actually. Luckily, although I did hear the howling of wolves some time back, but I have heard stories that there's been orcs about people being taken, and I have been keeping a wary eye. And it's only been as I've gotten close that I've gone back onto the main road. So maybe I've been a bit careful, but.
And you've been fortunate, I should say. What?
I would.
By the way, we're just talking generalities. What is your name? I am Bane, son of Wayne.
Why, is it a pleasure to meet you? I am Lodar. At your service. And I'd share the road with you, if I may, fellow travelers, on the way into Bree.
It's always safer that way.
And here, take this. And he passes a bottle to you. Pass this around.
Take a hearty sip to see what it is. You're pretty sure
it's quite a stout liquor. Yeah, it's pretty strong, but it's good.
Right. I'll just because I feel like it'd be appropriate, I'll hand it to Faldus first. Here, Hobbit, steel yourself. It'll bristle the hairs on your feet.
He looks at it a moment, looks back up at you, and then to the dwarf. It takes a swig. You see his eyes go really big, and passes it on. And then the dwarf says, "Well, let us be on our way then." And he snaps the reins to his horse and continues on. And as the day comes to an end, or the following day, really. Well, you're at the beginning of the day, actually. So by the time you get to the end of the day, you have arrived in Bree. And
Not that it matters, but did we pass the Forsaken?
Oh, yes, you did. Did you want...
I was just curious.
Yeah,
I'll put it on.
I forgot to mark that.
Is it basically where we are?
Hold on, I'm on the wrong part of the map to be able to tell you. 1 second. You are... No, it's not. It's, once again, I'm not on the token selector. You're going to be right about there. And it is the 17th of Ivania. How long is your journey? Your journey was meant to be 13 days.
Turned into like 20.
Well, because we're kind people, I'm gonna stop and help everybody.
Yeah. Ups and downs.
Sightseeing.
I think
Yeah, that's true. Mormont's gathering is on the 27th of Urama. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 20 days. Yeah, you're right. 20 days. 20 days. You are a week late.
I was delayed.
To be fair, we helped some people, strengthened their position.
Sorry, I was
took a,
delayed.
took a rest. All right. You've arrived in
Yeah.
Bree. And I have a map.
To be fair, I think we did kind of hinder the enemy, which helped.
You have done so. You have.
A week well spent.
Yes, that's the word I was looking for. So you have at last arrived, and coming in on the east. Let me drag your.
Probably passed by Stab and Cole. Archer to the north.
It is the evening time, and
Jeez.
well, it's just getting on towards evening, and a little window opens in the gate. Who goes there?
Weary travelers seeking the inn.
Huh? 3 dwarves, an elf, humans, and a hobbit. Well, you mustn't be standing out here. Strange things. And he closes that window, opens the door. Can't be too careful.
Did he open the small window as well? He was just like, when he looked up top and then looked down at full of us, he just unlatched it.
Yep.
The doors.
Carry on with you. I'm sure Butterbird's got a warm hearth.
Nod my head, and guess we all continue in.
And
Did Moonwolf say where we would meet them in Bree? I mean, obviously the inn's probably the most.
he did not.
I would definitely start at the inn.
Yeah. I was gonna say, for lack of a better direction, yeah, the inn's probably the best choice. I just didn't know if he gave us hey, we're next.
And I don't believe I've set an accurate scale on this map, although it's kind of irrelevant. Definitely not. It's not 270 miles. It's a big village. But
That's the size of
there's
the
a
state.
that's the prancing pony right here. And you know that these buildings here are sort of government buildings. This one acts closest to a town hall. But you've got all along the main street down there. You've got, shops and such. And though the main smithy is way up here.
I feel like maybe labeling this map's gonna be a different time.
Yeah. Don't need to worry about it this time. And I must apologize to you guys. I was going to have a map of the interior of the Prancing Pony, but I just did not get around to it. I'm so sorry. I've been really busy of late, but my goal is to have, even though it's not a battle map area, but iconic places, I'd like to have a proper map. Because you'll revisit them. So might as well have them. But I do not for this one today. But still, you know what it looks like on the inside. You can all imagine it. And Lodar turns to you guys and much obliged for the company on the travel. And once again, thank you for your help, and I bid you well in your journeys.
And you, guy. I'm assuming I have kin over there, so I'll say, and give greetings to my kin in the Blue Mountain.
I shall. All right, my mouse is not working out right. Why are you doing that? Okay. There. Not that one. That one's stupid. This was the chatter I was working on for.
Yeah, I was about to say the chatter is back.
I don't. Is it too loud? It stopped my.
It's gone now.
There, it should stay. All right. Oh, why is it not looping? All right, I'm about to be done with this nonsense if it's not going to obey. Is it still playing for you guys?
No.
Okay. I'm going to leave it. It's going to go for one more time and then it'll stop. I'm not going to mess with it. All right. There's a stable boy that comes to take your horses.
Well, he's gonna have to take that up with Hogar.
Yeah. Yeah, Hogar does assist with him, but so there's a big archway where the prancing pony is. It's the back part of it kind of goes into the hillside because there's a big hill that rises up behind it, as I'm sure you know. And the archway on the right-hand side is stables. There's a big courtyard back in there between it and all, but just inside that archway on your left is the door that takes you up with a couple of steps into the common room. And it's not completely packed, but it's probably about half full. All sorts of people. There's some hobbits. And of course, there are plenty of humans as well. And Butterbur is there and turns to you. Welcome, travelers. Now, if I see some thirsty people there, if I'm not mistaken. Long journey?
Yes, quite a long journey. We may have friends already waiting for us here, and I'll describe our companions, Raven and.
Oh, let's see.
Although he'd probably think she looks mysterious and birdy, but you know.
Yep.
The dwarves less so. Probably.
Yes, I have. They've stopped by every night for the past 8-9 days. I suspect I'll see them again tonight. Friends of yours?
Yes. Yes. You know, my kin are close-knit.
Ah, yes, they are. Well, you lads and lasses have a seat. And I will get service to you. And then if your friends come, I will send them your way. And there's a table free. A couple of them actually, but and a female hobbit comes over to you. What'll you be having? We've got a nice stew on. And Butterbur's just put on a new ale.
Sounds
Sounds good.
I shall have both.
Yes.
I'm just gonna give the coin that the
Ale and
knight
stew.
gave us.
All right. She goes away and comes back with some. Well, it takes her a few trips because she's a hobbit. But she comes back with ales first, and then bowls of stew for all of you. Hogarth's decided to join you shortly after you got settled in.
I would hope so. I'd hope he's not just staying with the horses.
No, we are here in the. I've had dealings with this stable boy before. He's good. A little young, but he keeps a sharp eye. And hold on, I'm on the wrong page. Okay.
I'm assuming our friend Lodgar is actually joining us for the night because I don't see why he'd set out in the middle
No,
of the night.
yeah, he's definitely gonna sit with you. Because you've journeyed with him for a day, so you've made a new friend. Oh, it's a shame Chris isn't here. You see, well, you're sat down there. There's a table, a few tables away from you. There's a small company of hobbits. Having a great time. Actually, I believe, if I remember right, I don't know if he has it on his character sheet. I believe he is from yes, Bucklands, yes. Volvus recognizes them. Those are my countrymen from Buckland. And he gets down off of his stool without hesitating. He just goes over to them, and you see when they see him, they're quite happy. There's some hugs. And he sits down and he's having a drink with them. You're not sure what they're talking about.
Finding out what a pint is, yeah.
They come in pints. And shortly after that, you do indeed see Raven and two dwarves you remember as Logan and Dogan. I'll pull out their that's Logan. Oh. You had those saved too? You got all my secrets.
I might have saved certain pictures if I found them or tried to save them other ways. So,
Damn it. Come on. And then Raven. At some point I'll have something that you don't have, but Raven.
yeah, I think I'm pretty sure Raven's gonna be different because you have that photo. This is the photo I saved for Raven, wherever she may be. And
Close. Good enough.
Yeah.
Alright.
I save it for my own memory's sake.
Oh,
Otherwise,
yeah.
I forget.
No, it's great. No, it's cool. You see them come in and they speak to Butterbur and and he points over at your table.
Finally, after 9 nights.
And you see, although they're well-controlled individuals, you see that they're relief on their faces. And they grab a drink and they come over. And Logan is the first to speak, and he's...
Bane's gonna say in a joking manner, because at this point, I'm sure they've been waiting for 9 days.
Yeah.
Took you long enough.
Whoa! We have feared the worst. But here you are. And not too soon. And they sit down. We've grown weary waiting. But at last you're here. Did you run into trouble?
Sorry, what was that?
Have you run into trouble? Why?
We ran into trouble, solved it, helped some people, found some
Perfect.
things.
Saul, you started
We've
to say
been-
something?
Help try to prevent some trouble.
Oh, sorry.
That too. Even helped our friend Lodgar here. I think that's how his name's pronounced.
Lodar.
Lodar. Lodar.
Ah. And Logan bows his head. Right. Well met. And Raven is looking about.
Oh, yes, we also ran into Moonwolf.
That is good, she says. We left him as an advanced scout that way. We didn't know which way you might come in or what we wanted to cover all our bases. Plus, with orcs about, having someone looking upon on high is not a bad plan.
No, it is not. Especially when we encountered 2 or 3 groups of them.
Really?
Indeed. Well, unless anyone has any qualms about speaking in front of anyone, I guess we'll relay our story without getting into specifics.
Right.
I don't see any reason not to relay it.
Yeah, I mean, we have Brandon Dorf with us, but I mean, he's on the up and up. We helped him. He's friendly. Helps him be more prepared on the road.
The enemy is very busy then. Talandil awaits. I'm glad you've arrived now. He has pinpointed an area where he believes the bandits are. Their base of operations, he believes. He's hopeful of that anyway. They have a number of watchtowers, some outposts. One of them we've seen. We know where that is at. We've left it untouched so far, so we didn't want to tip our hand. They're using ruins to hide themselves.
We suspected as much.
But Talendale has a strike team prepared, ready to go. Small group of Dunedain, and with your help, he feels that a strike will cripple the bandits.
That is good, but we have noticed and heard of orcs headed in that general direction towards Fornost.
Yes. Before Moonwolf set out, we had no news of such, if any details, but since he's left us a week ago, we've sent. We believe there's to be an orc stronghold deep in Fornost. Gili, Vidar, Einar, and Dinar, 4 of your countrymen, have been sent on that quest to scout it out, and we have not heard back from them yet. This is Logan talking. We gave them strict, not orders because we're not the boss of them, but we gave them. They're not to act without anyone. It's without the rest of us. We fear the numbers would overwhelm them. Want as their hearts may be to enact revenge. And
I'd be ashamed to have to rescue them a second time.
Mm-hmm.
Ginar and Einar especially. It was all we could do to keep them from rushing into battle, but we haven't met up with them since, and we hope that they may have knowledge for us to help aid us, but they will await us afterwards. It is the bandits that Talendil is waiting.
Bane will nod, since it is better to have 2 people who may wander now. I'll show Raven the map of all of our X's and explain the encampments that Moonwolf kind of predicted or suspected.
Raven looks about before she ever, as you're getting it out. And just huddle up so no one can see. There's a lot of you around the table right now anyway, but...
I figured we were generally blocked off at this point with how many of us there are. We probably have like a corner booth.
Yeah. What could this mean?
We suspect it to be gatherings of the enemy, both cemented with, and I'll point at the circles, and under current construction or scouted.
Yes, that would... If they're pressing south, then that's what... We have a bear on the chat.
There.
Yeah.
Three. The three being further north, that would make sense that more fully established. And they press south, you say? Yes. I cannot speak the black speech or read it as well. Talendale may, although he is loath to do so. Gandalf headed out in such a rush that he, of course, would know what it says. We can escort you to Talendale on the morrow. But if you would rather rest here a bit, we can go on ahead.
Well,
Logan says, I, for one, do not want to wait at all.
well, with the exception of our hobbit friend, I think we are all more or less ready to set out.
By the way, seeing you guys gather, Fulvus comes back to join you. So what have I missed?
Gaggle. Oh, yeah, gaggle of hobbits. Like, oh, where's the party? This giant gathering? Horrors behind there.
Friends of mine from Buckland.
But unless you Fulvus have a disagreement, I think we are all ready to set out at once. We've already delayed enough. Unless Gandalf said to wait for him or some other thing is unforeseen.
My friends over there have told me that they saw Gandalf arrive, but he did not stay long. He passed through Buckland and did not linger.
So
News
he
of
passed
his...
into the Shire or came back to Bree.
No, he passed on into Hobbiton. But quite secretive he is, as you know, but he journeyed further west with Rudigar and his companions. Although they did stop and speak with Bilbo. But they know not where they went.
West. Past Hobbiton. That's either towards Erin, you mean, or Arth the Dane.
He had no news. But the Shire has... all across the Shire, the defenses have been bolstered. But patrols have been increased. People are not quite as cheerful as normal. Indeed, recruitment for the Bounders has increased, and many have eagerly signed up, at least on a temporary measure. That fills me with some hope. But as much as I would long to go home, I would stay with my traveling companions.
Glad to still have. Well, I'm ready to set out, but my concern was you might be a little weary, Fulvus. Are you feeling up to the journey, or do you need some rest here?
I don't think we could afford to wait other than until the morning. If a good night's rest here at the Prancing Pony, and I'll be good to go.
All right. he'll regain at least one fatigue.
Yes, and you all will. Although that isn't a big deal for the rest of you at this point in time. Right.
Uh,
Um,
any other news about Bree? You have all been here for at least a week.
nah, there's been tales of well, travelers on the Greenway headed south who narrowly escaped being attacked by bandits. And then travelers who said they have found remains of not like dead remains, right, but like remains of a battle, of some slain horses and some overturned wagons along the Greenway. The bandits.
I turn to Raven. Your folk. Well, I guess it's also Wanderer, but Wanderer wouldn't know. So
No. They're people in Bree and and then the Chetwood.
who fought back against the bandits? Okay, close.
Once those tales have got out, there's not been a lot of travel on the Greenway for the past few days. But that is, of course, the way we'll be headed.
True. How much of a head start do the other four dwarves have? Not my other four kinsmen. Not that I don't believe they won't stay out of trouble, I'll say. Just maybe we can overtake them or arrive shortly after them. Depending on when they left.
Dogan laughs at that when you talk about their demeanor. They are 5 days out already, and they are to scout. They are planning to scout, to look for trails, to look where the orcs might head.
So they will be moving slower. So it is possible we could overtake them if good weather permits. And good rolls.
Yeah. Raven tells us that we've heard many rumors itself, but Fornost is a haunted place. Not for the weak of heart. Great evil taints the place.
Yes. We heard as much.
Although,
just because there's a possibility. Fulvis, do you think there's a place of learning in Bree here that might have more information on Fornost and our goal there? One of our goals there?
well, one thing that is true about Bray, they're not a learned folk. They hoarding of knowledge is not really something that is high on their list.
True. Though they are close to Fornost, do you think they might have some information on where to find certain objects?
I've never noticed that before on my travels. Here, many a story of it being haunted, I've heard that many a time, and that's pretty much where the conversation ends. A bit superstitious here. People would mention everything. They would shudder and,
Any particularly haunted areas they mention?
No, they do
Not
not. They do not go into detail, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Not saying that going into haunted areas would be the best idea, just that that's probably where the things are. That's how that generally works. All right. Well, perhaps when we get closer then.
Raven, if you guys go to the area door map, I'll make it so that you can get back to the Bree map 1 second. There you go. Now it stays up there in your navigation tabs.
Okay.
The Raven doesn't have a map. Oh, you showed them the map of that from New York.
Yeah, we
So-
showed them.
Yeah.
Roughly where that's looking at that. If I use the art tool and maybe it doesn't make a gigantic line.
You tend to have to like edit it after. It's a real pain in the butt sometimes.
Yeah, no, I wish they'd have. Well, there we go. Talendale awaits for us there.
And which
And the- and the-
watchtower?
Not a watchtower in the trees.
No. I'm saying so. He remembers they said like they were investigating the ruins, but for sure they had one pinned.
Oh, there. Yeah, sorry. I misunderstood you. There. No. Not there. Further up, it's smaller. It's further north. He didn't want to get too close, but he feels where they're located is north and maybe a bit west from where he is holed up.
So
He will
he's
not
the
wait.
Exactly where my ex is.
marker.
Sorry.
He's
He's this purple mark right here.
Yeah, let
he's
me
the big purple marker.
let me make an X. There we go.
Can we drag his face there?
Sorry.
Saying can we drag his face because he has a token, right?
Yeah,
Can we drag
let me put his token there. That's a good idea. Let me get rid of my drawing. And humans, where is he at? Ah, there he is. Oh, his gigantic token too. Hold on. Let me make that a little more manageable. There.
He's very blended with the trees.
Yeah, he does.
So roughly where my ex is actually. That's surprising.
Yeah, that was a good guess, actually. So he awaits us there with a small band. But it is towards the north and west. There's these sort of smaller sort of outposts, but he believes just from the traffic of them moving that there is a much larger sort of base of operations.
Probably safer to move up the road, and then once we get closer to Fornost, and perhaps find our other compatriots, head northeast.
I would advise.
Unless she has a better idea.
I would advise to leave the road here.
No.
Let me draw my map. Let me get my measurement tool.
Oh. Always zoom out.
And pass through the cover of trees. Good place to camp. And then we head along. And we could make these.
Basically keep to the trees.
Yes, to stay out, to stay hidden. There's a lot of traffic in the area. And the greenway has been being watched.
I am worried for our Dwarven friends. But
They passed their plan. They journeyed up with Talendil, so they followed this way, and from this trees they headed west.
Okay, so they'll at least be like around here to like here to scout out in the hills and the forest. Or
That was the plan.
okay, well then that's a good idea.
Some of them did not like that plan. They wanted to storm right in there, but Logan says we were able to make them hold on to that rage.
Well, we are fiery folk, but you
we
do
are.
need to
That
all,
we are.
all friendly fists sometimes helps. Knock some.
So let us drink up. Another round. Tomorrow we ride.
Aye.
And Dogan goes to get another round for everyone.
Sorry for instilling the absolute fear into you, Lodar. No. Random merchant hearing all this.
Well, I'm not a part of your company, but I'm headed back to the Arid Luine. And by your leave, I will pass on this news to them.
Yes. Although, if you could try to pass the way, seems like he's going in that general direction, the way Gandalf went.
Yeah,
You'll know him.
Yeah,
Gray. Yeah.
I have seen him, heard of him before, but I will pass through the Shire, as I often do. I have a few wares left that I might trade with the wee folk.
Yes, I would stop in Hobbiton and maybe make west, depending on what news. If you want to stop in at Bilbo, he's always welcoming. He has food, drink.
That he is. And eager for tales. I shall do, and I will pass on this news. All right. We should probably call it there for the session.
Yeah, I'll see
We're
why.
at the end of our time.
With the second round, sure.
With the second round, yes. We'll begin the next session with Journey North. Let me do some experience.
Yay.
And let me get Fulvis's character sheet open just to make sure it gives it to him since he's not logged in. I think it may not. All right. And do check your character sheets. If you scroll down to where the skill points and adventure points are. Let's see if this works. It worked for Fulvis.
Can you add mine in for me, Andy? I have to take off right now.
It should do it automatically, but I will double check
Oh,
to
rad.
see.
Yeah, your name popped up in the list.
Cool.
Yep, that's correct.
I forgot it works like that. That's awesome.
I
well-
forgot you weren't at a computer terminal. I would have had your sheet
Yeah.
up to make sure it works, but it worked for Fulvis, so I
Yeah,
assume it worked for
I'm
you.
not worried. I was at like 8 and 11 or something like that.
Oh, really? You are. That was on it. Yeah, you're on 14 and 10.
Perfect.
You got 3 each, is what it worked out as.
Well, good
Okay.
session as always.
I
to y'all later.
really liked it. Do you have just a moment, Unicorn?
Yeah.
I wanted to. Actually, let me stop the recording so I didn't have that on there.